guys, welcome back to my channel. I just want to say thank you to every single person who congratulated us on our baby boy being born. It's been a long week. Almost. Today is Saturday. Tomorrow will be his 1 week of being born. It's so sad. But today's video is going to be my birthing story. I know the birth vlog was kind of all over the place and didn't make much sense. So I'm just gonna sit down. I wrote it all out so we can just talk about it and go through it. It was a very hectic day. It didn't go as planned as at all. I want to be completely honest, I was not planning on having a C-section at all. I really did not want one. But with the way it turned out, I ended up having one, and it was for the best. So yeah, let me just get into this. It's pretty long, hefty notes. Alright, so Saturday, January 12th, I was scheduled to be induced at 4 p.m. So I was 40 weeks and 3 days pregnant. But I said in a previous video on my 40-week update that I went to the doctors and they never looked into my infection that I had in September. You know, the folliculitis situation. So with that being said, they never rechecked it, and apparently I had a MRSA strain. If you don't know what MRSA is, it's an infection on the skin. It's by contact, not airborne. So I got it somehow, I don't know, and they it ended up changing my entire birth plan. Just that one situation changed everything. So at my 40-week update, they cultured me, and then the next day they cultured me. So on Wednesday and Thursday they cultured me. One of the cultures came back on Saturday and it came up negative, but they needed both cultures to completely clear me for the MRSA infection. So when I got there, I asked about it, and they didn't say anything that it wasn't going to be a problem. They didn't tell me anything other than I could continue on with my Pitocin, everything's gonna go as normal. So I didn't have any issues from the beginning. So yeah, so the second result didn't come back until Monday, which kind of messed everything up. But yeah, let me go back to my induction. So I did get induced on Saturday. Before the Pitocin, before they even started, I didn't even get checked in until 5:30ish. You guys see in the room. So it was 5:30, and they checked me for my dilation, how big he was, and they also gave me another membrane sweep. So I was still only dilated 2 centimeters, and they did an ultrasound on him, and he was looking to be in between 7 to 9 pounds. So they already knew he was going to be a bigger baby. And then they gave me a membrane sweep just to, get things going a little. After that didn't kick up my contractions. It didn't really do anything. They started me on Pitocin around 9 p.m., which is kind of late. I really wanted to go be induced during the day so I could have one full day. I was very uncomfortable the entire time of being there throughout the night and exhausted the next day. So they started my Pitocin at 9 p.m. I was not allowed to get an epidural. They told me that after they started the Pitocin, so there was no going back. So I was started to have contractions, but nothing too painful. I could sit through them, talk through them. My normal contractions that I was having before even going in there, they weren't anything crazy. I was having a lot of back pain, but nothing, to get me upset or anything. So after that, my next check didn't happen until 1:30 a.m. They didn't check me again until then, and I was still only I I was 3 centimeters, 60% effaced, and his head was at a -3. If you don't know, like, his head has to make it to like a 5, and that's like him coming out. He was at a -3, so he wasn't even like close to being down. So after that, they were increasing my Pitocin by like 2 every hour to get things going. So I ended up going to sleep around 3 a.m. They didn't check me again until later on. I went to sleep, no medication, just like trying to get through it. I did sleep until like 8 a.m. the next morning, I think. But it wasn't that painful to sleep through. I was exhausted, so I just slept through it. So the next check after that happened around 8 a.m. maybe? I don't know. I can't remember. I was still only 3 centimeters. Nothing was changing. And then they tell me, like, I can't get an epidural because of the MRSA infection. And this is when it all hits me, like, oh my god, I'm going to have this kid natural. So I'm freaking out. And they tell me, like, because nothing has changed overnight at all, that there is a 50% chance that I'm going to have a C-section. So they're giving me till the end of the day to try and figure everything out. So this is like 8 a.m. in the morning. They're giving me options. I'm not allowed to have the epidural. The only thing they can give me is like this laughing gas to like breathe in through the contractions. Or I can get something through my IV, which I can only get once, and I have to get taken off of it once I reach 6 centimeters. So I thought there was no point in getting it, because once you reach 6 centimeters, you're already like in full-blown labor, and I didn't think it was like, I thought it was extremely pointless to get it, because I'd rather like feel the contractions going on to 6 centimeters instead of being on medication and then being taken off and then being in full-blown labor and not being able to handle it. So I ended up opting to not get any medication. So I kind of just like went through it without getting anything up to this point. So they were giving me to the end of the day to see if like my body was changing, or if he would go down more, if the Pitocin would cause a reaction. So around 10:30 a.m. they checked me again. I was still at 3 centimeters, no change whatsoever. I wasn't allowed to eat, still no medication, and the contractions started to pick up. I think this is when Anthony like started to talk in the video. I was having such bad back pains, like back labor. They ended up putting a peanut in between my legs to get his head to move down and to try to dilate me more. So after that, like my mom, his mom, and him, like Anthony, were all surrounding me, trying to keep me calm. I was crying. I was so upset that I couldn't get an epidural to handle the pain. My back was hurting so bad. Anthony had to sit there and keep rubbing it for like hours. I finally gave in to try and get the laughing gas, and then they tell me that they didn't have any of the tubes to get me that. So not only was I not able to get the epidural, but they didn't have the supplies to give me the laughing gas stuff. So I opted to get the IV medication. I'm not sure what any of the names are of these. I should have like looked into this before doing this. But they gave me the IV thing around 2-ish because I just couldn't handle the pain anymore. So I went from like 10 a.m. of like really bad contractions until 2 p.m. and I got that, and I ended up falling asleep for a little bit, but then the contractions came back, and I was having like extreme back pain. It all hit me at once, and I knew it was gonna happen. So I was like in so much pain. They ended up checking me again around 3 p.m. No changes whatsoever. Still 3 centimeters. He's still not getting down there. So the doctor was leaning towards a C-section. So I basically was just like, yes, let's have a C-section. Let's get this over with. So with the C-section, most people already have like epidurals, or they go through the back just to numb the bottom down. But because I was not allowed to get an epidural or have anything through my back, I had to be completely put to sleep. So they had to like trach me, completely put me out, and then take him out. So Anthony couldn't be in the room. I wasn't allowed to have anybody in there with me, and it was so painful afterwards because I didn't have the medication during it. I just had anesthesia, and then as soon as I woke up, it hit me. Like, all the pain hit me. I'm gonna cry. It was just not what I planned. Because I had to be completely put to sleep, I wasn't able to wake up in time to, like, see him. So they brought him in. So he was born at 3:39 p.m. on Sunday, January 13th, 2019. He was 8 pounds, 6.6 ounces, and he was 20 3/4 inches long. And he was healthy. He was extremely healthy. Nothing was wrong. Since I was completely out, I didn't wake up until like 7:30, 7 o'clock. And like all my family were there. I was knocked out in a bed, just begging for medication to help with like the pain. They put me on morphine, and I was in and out for like hours. Lillie came to visit while this was all happening, and the only person that held him other than Anthony was Lillie. So Lillie got her wish to hold the baby before me. So I wasn't allowed to do a skin to skin. Anthony wasn't allowed to cut the umbilical cord. I couldn't even breastfeed until I was completely like awake, because they were doing like shift changes at the hospital around that time. I wasn't able to get into like my postpartum room until around 8 p.m. So I was like in and out of it, going crazy. So yeah, that's basically like the whole situation of what happened. I wasn't allowed to hold him until they like were escorting us to the postpartum room. Anthony was holding him, but one of the nurses were trying to extract some milk from me to feed him. So they were doing that, and they were feeding him through the syringe, and that's what I was doing in the video. If you were wondering why he was being fed that way, they extracted my milk to feed him for the first time. So yeah, it was ridiculous. I'm sorry, I'm so emotional, but I'm like so upset about how it went down. Like, they could have told me before I got the Pitocin that they needed the cultures for me to get an epidural, so I can at least, you know, get what I needed to get. I would have waited to get induced if I'd known all the facts. And I also regret getting a C-section and being put down. Like, I missed the first couple hours of his life, and it's very upsetting. So yeah, this has been bothering me for the last couple days, and my postpartum has been extremely hard on me because I don't know what to expect with a C-section. But I'll get into that more in a different video. But that was his like complete, like my whole induction and how it went down. So it was very traumatizing. I had a very bad experience this pregnancy. Well, I had a very bad birthing experience this time around, and it was the same hospital that I had Lillie. it was just a bad experience, and now I know for next time. But yeah, I am so grateful for my little boy. I'm extremely grateful for Oliver, and he came out with his eyes open so wide. There's a video of him coming straight to Anthony after he was born, and I refused to put that in the video because it was just something that was Anthony and his, and I missed that too. I missed Anthony's reaction to the baby, but as soon as Anthony was holding him, his eyes shot open, and he was just very curious and wanted to be around his dad, so it was something special, and I didn't want to put it in the video. But Oliver is such an amazing little boy, and I love him. But yeah, that's basically my video. I'm sorry, I'm a hot mess. I can't stop crying once it starts. I will be doing a comparison of Lily's pregnancy and delivery with Oliver's pregnancy and delivery, and I will also be doing like my postpartum recovery video because it's been rough. Not gonna lie, I don't know how no one prepares. I don't get why nurses and doctors don't prepare you for C-sections. Like, your body after a C-section is just completely different than vaginal, and no one prepares you for that. So yeah, I will do a video on that. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. I know this is gonna be a long video, and it's kind of like me crying half of the video. But yeah, thank you so much for all of the congratulations and the support and the love of my baby. It makes me so happy to see everybody so in love with him. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.